You have been calling them your runner. You have been treating their distance like a spiritual signal, like the universe is asking you to wait, to hold on, to keep the faith a little longer. But here is what nobody in this space is saying clearly enough. They are not running because the love is too intense. They are running because being loved feels dangerous to them, and you have been standing in the middle of their unhealed wound, wondering what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you, but the story you are telling about what their behavior means is keeping you locked in a room with no door. Let us change the story today. Here is the short version of what is happening inside them. And I promise I will not make you sit through a psychology lecture. When someone grows up in an environment where closeness consistently led to pain, where love came with conditions, or where showing emotion was met with silence or punishment, their nervous system does something very intelligent. It builds a wall, not a metaphorical wall, a literal neurological response that treats intimacy as a threat signal. The clinical term for this is dismissive avoidant attachment. What it feels like in real life is this: everything is fine between you until it gets real, until the connection deepens, until you need something from them, or they start to actually feel something for you. And then, without warning, they go cold, they get busy, they create distance through behavior or silence or manufactured conflict. This is not them choosing to hurt you. This is their cortisol spiking. Their body pulling the emergency brake before the attachment can deepen to a point where losing it would be catastrophic. Because somewhere in their early life, that catastrophe already happened, and their system never forgot. The researcher and physician, Gabor Mate, describes it simply. He says the question is never, why the addiction or why the avoidance? The question is always, what was the pain? The avoidance is just the answer to a question they were asked a long time ago, before they had any other tools. Understanding that does not mean you accept being treated carelessly. It means you stop making their wound about your worth. Let me tell you about someone. She came to this work about 18 months ago. Her name was Priya. She was 31, a nurse, someone who spent her professional life caring for people in crisis, and her personal life waiting on a man who could not decide if he wanted her. She described their dynamic with a detail that I have never forgotten. She said, "When he is present, he is the most present person I have ever known. And when he disappears, it is like he was never real." She had been in the cycle for 2 years. She had done the readings, the meditations, the rituals. She had convinced herself that the intensity of what she felt was proof that this was divinely orchestrated, that his unavailability was a test she needed to pass with enough patience and enough love. The moment of shift came on an ordinary Tuesday. She was sitting in her car outside a grocery store, having spent 40 minutes in the parking lot because she could not bring herself to go in while waiting to see if he would reply to a message she had sent 4 hours earlier. It was a simple message, just a photo she thought he would like. She sat in that car, and something landed in her chest that she described as the weight of how long I have been here. Not just in the parking lot, in the waiting, in the managing, in the making herself smaller so that his avoidance would not be triggered. She told me she started crying, not because she was sad, but because she suddenly saw herself from the outside. A woman who had reorganized her entire inner life around the emotional availability of someone who had never once reorganized anything for her. That was not a spiritual awakening. That was her locus of control coming back online. She did not leave him that day. She did something harder. She made a decision about herself. She decided that she was going to stop treating his silence as information about her value and start treating it as information about his capacity. And she decided that his capacity was no longer going to determine the ceiling of her life. Over the following months, she started reclaiming the things she had quietly abandoned while she was waiting. A painting practice she had dropped. Friendships she had let thin out. A professional ambition she had put on hold without even fully realizing it. He did not change. The connection eventually ended. And when it did, she told me she felt something she had not expected. She felt ready. Not because she had stopped caring, but because she had stopped outsourcing her sense of self to someone who was never equipped to hold it. That is what the path forward actually looks like. Not perfect, not painless, but yours. I want to give you something you can use right now. Not tomorrow, not after you process this video. Right now, wherever you are. This is called the Grounded Presence Reset. It takes about 2 minutes, and it works by interrupting the anxiety loop in your body before your mind has time to feed it more story. Start by planting both feet flat on the floor. If you are lying down, press the backs of your heels down into the surface beneath you. You are not doing this symbolically. You are giving your nervous system a real piece of sensory data. Ground, surface, here. Now take a slow breath in through your nose. And as you do, I want you to find 5 things you can physically feel right now. Not see. Feel. The weight of your body. The temperature of the air on your skin. The pressure of the chair or the floor against you. The texture of your clothing. The sensation of your own heartbeat, if you can locate it. You are not meditating. You are interrupting a cortisol loop by redirecting your nervous system's attention from the imagined future, which is where your anxiety lives, back into the present body, which is where your actual safety lives. Now take 1 breath out, slowly, longer than the breath in, and ask yourself 1 question out loud, or just in your mind. Ask, what do I need right now that has nothing to do with them? Let the answer come without filtering it. It might be small, it might be water, or a walk, or to call someone who actually shows up for you. Whatever it is, honor it. Do the thing, not as a healing strategy, just as a simple act of choosing yourself in a small and immediate way. That is how sovereignty builds. Not in grand declarations, in small, consistent redirections, back to yourself. Here is the truth I want to leave you with. You are not waiting for someone to stop running. You are in the middle of your own becoming, and every day you spend organizing your inner world around someone else's avoidance is a day you are not spending, building the version of yourself that does not need someone else's consistency to feel whole. That person exists in you right now. They are not on the other side of union. They are on the other side of this decision, the decision to take your own life seriously, enough to stop putting it on hold. If this channel is the place where that kind of honest, grounded, integrated perspective makes sense to you, subscribe, not to collect content, but because this work requires return, and you deserve a space that meets you at the real depth of what you are navigating. You are not a chaser. You are not a victim of a cosmic dynamic. You are a person who deserves a love that does not require you to disappear. Come back for the next one. We are going deeper.